Happy spooky season and welcome back to another episode of Brujo 101. I'm Martin Moreno. I love you guys. I'm joined by the spiritual galactic advisor. What is that? What we decided your title was? Galactic spiritual advisor?
I like that one.
Yeah. Tanya, aka Ashe, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am dude, you are I'm good, but I'm looking at you and you are dressed warm. You're ready for the fall, homie.
Well, I got back from Georgia, right? And I was there during the tropical storm, which I didn't plan for. And then when I got here yesterday, it was cold as like all hell. I don't know, I'm cold.
No, that thing looks like it came with a pumpkin spice latte.
It's Ugg season. If you can see my shoes, I have on Uggs. I'm very cold.
You look you're about to do a commercial for Starbucks.
I am pretty color. Like I do have all the colors for the pumpkin spice.
This is our newest collection for fall. This is our newest wardrobe for fall collection.
Ache pumpkin spice collection.
No, it looks good. It looks great. It looks
I'm wearing
fantastic.
Snoopy. What the hey?
No. It looks good. It looks like you're a chola's tia and shit.
Everybody kept messaging me, "Oh, you look like a chola on the last one."
You did. You freaking did. You had your hoops, right?
I had my hoops, and I came in sweats that day.
You came in sweats. Your eyebrows were did.
And I was extra aggressive. I was like, "Damn, what's going on?"
Wow. And we are joined by Ansley, the spooky foodie.
What's up, guys?
How you doing? Thank you for joining us on Brujo 101.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited.
Dude, the spooky foodie. Where'd you come up with that name, or who gave you that name, rather?
I love food and I love spooky shit. So that's kind of how it all happened.
I like
actually.
It's got a great ring to it.
Thank you. I was really lucky that it wasn't already used on TikTok. I thought, dang, this rolls off the tongue like it's perfect. And it was there. It was like it was meant for me, you know?
Wow. Now, when did you coin the phrase the spooky hoodie? Hoodie.
And I'm the one who's drunk.
No, I'm not drunk. I'm just, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, my apologies.
No, I started Spooky Foodie in June of this year.
Oh, okay. No shit. Dude, you've grown a lot since then.
It's insane. It's a little scary. It's a little intimidating, not gonna lie.
How crazy is that? When I met her and then Tammy told me, I was like, well, how long? She's like, no. I was like, what?
It just sounds like it's been there forever, yeah.
And you have a pretty good following, and you have a lot of because now I see you on TikTok, and you have a lot of people who are like engaging in your stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, I am I'm such a dinosaur. I'm not on TikTok.
You should get on.
I know. Dude, this conversation happens at least once a week.
Okay.
And then I feel like do you remember? Are you old enough to remember MySpace?
A little bit.
Okay,
yes,
so
I remember it.
MySpace was around, and I was that asshole that when Facebook showed up, fuck Facebook, I'm staying right here in MySpace. And then until everybody just abandoned it, like the housing market in 2008, and then that's when I finally decided, let me just get out of this freaking foreclosure. And but I feel the same way. Like right now, my Facebook is abandoned. I do spend the majority of my time on Instagram, which seems like it's going by the wayside compared to what TikTok is doing.
I completely agree. I mean, Instagram is really trying to be like TikTok.
Yeah.
I've seen a ton of changes even like the past couple weeks with the algorithm. Like it's crazy.
And the fact now they're like if you have a business page, they offer you so many things like do this reel, wait, do this, do that, and they're trying to mirror what TikTok does as far as like the followings. And
Can you monetize on TikTok as well?
Yeah, so right now I just started monetizing on 9/11. Very strange day for me to start monetizing on TikTok. But I have made like $1.
Get it, girl.
Oh.
Yeah, like
it's
making
$1. It's $1 more than what you had on 9/11. So there you
that's,
go.
So almost 2 months, 50 cents a month. Well, listen, you're getting paid better than the Chinese kids making Nikes.
Dude, so sad. It's true.
So look at the bright
side. So terrible, but true. Oh my goodness.
It's pumpkin spice season. So We get spicy up in here.
The money's in Facebook, though.
The money's in Facebook,
yes.
really? And
yes.
I've abandoned my Facebook. I got more people on Facebook than I do on Instagram, and I've just abandoned
I have a Facebook
it.
for a chat, and I never I mean, I do. You know how you can mirror your account? So I mirror my account.
Yep.
But I never check it. Like I had 30 messages on it. I was like, oh shit, okay.
Oh damn.
Because I don't clear them, and there was all these people. I was like, who is this? Weird.
It's all these pages that you have to freaking keep up with. It becomes tedious, and it becomes almost fake. Yes. And I feel like I'm not being genuine with if I'm just doing the same thing on one page that I'm doing on the other one, it feels disingenuous to me.
100%. I completely get that. And it's I have to focus on the algorithm of Facebook, which is more like families.
Get closer to the mic.
More like families and kids. Facebook is more families and kids, and then Instagram is everyone. TikTok is everyone. But then YouTube, they like longer form content, so I have to make different videos of the same topic on every single platform.
Oh, you customize them.
Yeah.
See, I respect that because there's a lot of people that just say go, and everything just goes to the same thing.
By a lot of people, he means me. Anache.
No. I'm a lot of people.
It's me.
People always tell me it's so easy. You just get it. God damn it! I thought I turned this down. Look at me.
It's okay.
I feel but I wonder if the money just really quick is in Facebook because it's a more mature audience and they buy more shit.
Yes, they do.
Right? Because I feel
a lot of moms.
Right? And that's the target demographic right there. But I feel on Insta, you get a lot of people who will share your story. Right. But very few people who will actually reach out and be well, I have a shop. So be hey, I want to buy this. And it's not even the price point. Right. It's just it doesn't happen as much as I think on Facebook. All the messages I had were to purchase something. It was,
oh, wow.
They were
that's crazy.
Is this available? Is this available? Is this available? I was like, what? Okay. That's weird. And of course, I was sold out of everything. I was like, what an asshole.
That's a good problem to have.
That's a great problem to have. You just got back from Savannah, Georgia.
I did.
One of my favorite places in the United States of America.
I could see that.
It's a food. You like food and
Love
you like
food.
Spooky shit.
Yes.
Have you been to Savannah?
I just came back from South Carolina. That's the only place in the South I've been.
Oh, you got to go to Savannah.
I do want to go to Savannah. I've heard a lot about that. Yeah.
Savannah is another it's. The first time I went, I was blown away, and consequently, it happened to be a St. Patrick's Day weekend, and they go crazy for St. Patrick's Day.
I bet.
I guess everybody goes crazy for St. Patrick's Day, but they go dude, there was people running around the streets just getting loaded, people selling green shirts, everybody's just trying to come up on St. Patrick, right?
Poor St. Patrick.
Poor St. Patrick.
Wow.
And it was just this, I think because of that experience that I had that first time, and then we got a tour of the pirates' house, and then they told us all the stories of the pirates shanghaiing people, and they'd get them loaded, hey, let me buy you a drink, and next thing you know, they wake up rowing under the boat, and now they're freaking slaves for the rest of their lives and shit.
Very Epstein.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, yeah. And so you hear all these. I was fascinated by it all. I was fascinated by the fact, and the bench that Forrest Gump was sitting on is right there.
Get out. That's cute, right?
Yeah. Did you go?
Yeah, because I was staying right by there. I liked it. I thought it was really. I didn't know how much culinary they're really into food there. Big time into food.
I think the South in general, right?
There's a million restaurants, and they're not cheap. It's you're looking at Ruth Chris prices or Lori's prices. I'm sure. I stayed in Savannah, so it was probably more expensive than if I would have stayed outside of Savannah. I also went to Tibby Island, which was very nice. Which I didn't even know there was a fucking Tibby Island. So I was like, okay. No. But it was definitely. I feel like downtown has a very heavy feeling to it. It's because of everybody who made money in Savannah owned 300 slaves. They tell you about it in the tours, everybody had all these slaves and stuff. But really quick, I want to tell you something that happened. So I go into this thrift store, right? I Google thrift stores, and I go into this one outside of the city, and I'm walking around and I'm looking for, I don't even want to do this with Martin. I'm looking for taxidermied heads.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Animal heads.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's what I'm looking for. And horns, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking for it because that's what you get, right? So I'm like going to the thrift store because they had like pictures of some stuff. So I go there, whatever, and I'm looking at this stuff. And then I'm like digging in the back because my son, I don't know if I told you, Nick is like fascinated by VHS right now.
No.
So he got a VHS player and all he wants are VHS tapes, which is so weird. My son is 14. He's going to be 15. So I'm looking at this box. In the corner, way in the back, I see something and I'm like, what is that? So I pull it and it's a statue of a saint, but she's black and she's carrying a black baby and her face is marked like tribal. And on the bottom it says Saint Barbara Africanus.
Santa Barbara.
Africana, right?
Uh-huh.
So I tell the man, I'm like, hey, this was in the back. Can I buy it off of you?
Wow.
And he's like, yeah, let me price it for you, whatever. So I brought it back. Martin, that thing is so fucking cool.
I'm going to write that down. I'm going to look her up.
St. Barbara
That's cool.
Africanus. I've never seen it before. And there's a belief of people who practice like 21 divisions and spirituality that when you find icons, any kind of spiritual icon that's black, it's supposed to be lucky because the church didn't make a lot of them.
Or they destroyed them.
So there's San Martin.
Yes.
Right? But I've never seen this one. So literally, Jerry was laughing because I literally carried her in my purse like a baby to bring her back, like through customs, through all this stuff.
You're going to make her work for you?
I'm totally.
Just like in the South, huh?
Pretty much. No, I brought her home, and she's in a better home now. But yes, I found.
She's in a better home.
She's with me now.
That's true. She's safe now.
She's safe now.
You rescued her?
Yes, and her little baby she's carrying.
Oh,
But can you believe I found that?
That's awesome.
that's crazy.
I'm gonna post a picture
Awesome.
because I've never seen something like that. Like it has her face painted,
Now
and I asked the man to date it for me. I was like, "How old do you think this is?" He's like, "I'm gonna be honest with you, we don't even know where the fuck that came from." He's like, "But it probably dates back to like the 30s." He's like, "It's like the 20s or 30s because of the what they used to make it."
So I think what's really freaking bananas is that you went through that like you were actually meant to find it. That's not because that's random
true.
like it's a thrift store in a place that outside the city. It's
And
not
he
like
didn't sell religious
like,
things.
Homie, you went.
I went
like,
for taxidermy shit. He
Yeah.
doesn't sell religious things. Jerry was like, where the fuck, where did that come from? I'm like, from the corner on the inside. I literally, what caught my attention was the crown was kind of peeking out. And I was like, what is that?
Did it like gravitate you?
I was just in
or
that
just,
corner,
like, you just
and
saw
then I
it?
just saw it, and I was like, okay. But I found that, and I was like, this has made my trip.
That's bad.
That's
Dude,
cool.
I think that's badass.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of. Now, my hat's off to you because I will, if it's within walking distance or not that far of an Uber, I'll go. But if it's far, I'm like, I'm not going outside the city for this.
It was
freaking
45 minutes.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like that's some dedication. There's
That
no way in
is
hell I would have
45
done
minutes.
that. Like when I was in New Braunfels, which is a German town in Texas by the river, and I was literally blocks away from this vintage shop that was 3 stories. And it's a collaboration from the town. Like everybody has different sections of it. It's not like just one person running it. Like everybody has different spots in it. I was I bought a cauldron.
You told me.
I bought a fucking cauldron.
Like a real.
Yeah,
cauldron.
like a cast iron, about this big.
That's awesome.
And and then and because I remember I went when I went to go pay for it, like this lady goes, she was in line, she goes, what is that? I go, it's like a smudge pot.
He was like, sounds good.
And she's like, oh,
Okay.
okay. And I'm like, and so and I found ashtrays from the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s.
Oh, that's cool.
So I bought ashtrays.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
I have these like thick fucking ashtrays.
I love those thick ashtrays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Are you a
glass
smoker?
ones, right?
Huh?
Do you smoke?
Weed? Not anymore.
Not anymore. You smoke cigarettes?
Sometimes. I just
Wow.
like collecting ashtrays.
Oh, okay. Very
But my
cool.
boyfriend smokes a lot of weed, so he
Good for
uses
him.
them.
She's
He
like, we
uses
need the
them.
ashtrays.
I'm a CBD woman now. Okay.
Okay.
Just-
Oh, get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
No. Hey, listen. No hate. Whatever whatever it is that you do or don't do, that's your business. Nobody should tell you what to smoke or not smoke.
I like your weed shoes, though. I saw those.
Thank you.
The weed Crocs.
I know, dude. But the thing with the Saints, it's interesting when you run into something like that. It's just meant to be, right? And I've been meaning to go back to Alpine Village in Torrance.
I know. Okay.
There's this store that has all these antiques. I think I told you about this place, but maybe not. And they have all these holy infants from Europe.
Oh.
Like old holy infants.
Okay.
And I remember I went over there, and let me know if I'm repeating myself, Tanya. And I remember I went back because they were about to close, and then I went back, and when I went back, the freaking place had just closed.
No, I don't think you've told me.
And I was talking to some dude was out there. He goes, "Hey," he goes, "Did you have a question?" I go, "Yeah." I go, what, "Let me know your schedule, yada yada." And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "That's the owner right there. I help him out." And then I go, "Oh." And then he goes, "If you have any questions, just hit him up." So the guy gets off the phone, and I go, "Hey, man." Because I had asked that other dude, I said, "Last time I came, I saw all these holy infants. Do you know which one it is?" He goes, "Yeah, it's the holy infant." And I go, "But do you know which one?"
Yeah, because there's different ones.
And then he goes, "I don't know." And so then I asked the dude, and he goes, "It's the holy infant." I go, "Well, is it Prague? Is it Philippines? Is it Spain?" And like I'm asking him all these questions, and he goes... And he just had this blank face. He goes,
like
"Well, I've just
collected
them for many, many years," he said, "and I brought some of them from Europe." And I'm going, "Well, that's fascinating. I just like to know which ones."
Which one I'm getting
and
here?
so I'm explaining to him the history of these Santo Niños, right? And then I remember telling Hooter this story, and the guy says, "So, are you a professor?" And I was like, "No."
You're like, I play one on TV.
And then Hooter goes, "I can't believe you said no." He goes,
me
"That's so
too.
your fucking alley that you would have been like, yes, I am," you know?
You should have been like, "I am the Messiah.
I am doing a
go.
dissertation on the holy infants, and your store is just...
I am the Messiah."
Bro, but again, that place keeps calling me. It keeps calling me. I gotta go back.
You gotta go. Yeah.
I've tried twice, though. And then so I'm like, okay, wait a minute. What's the blockage? Why is it that the both times
you can't get in?
I can't get in, and so I'm like, don't let me force it. Then I don't know if it's a good thing that it's stopping me or it's a bad thing that's stopping me. That's one of those. I haven't advanced that far in my spiritual walk, Tanya.
Okay, I'll try to help you with that.
Yeah,
baby steps. But it's true. I think
the shells.
I think that where you're supposed to go, somewhere you do. Because I went to that thrift store and I had like mapped out 5 thrift stores I was gonna go to. Because that's all I was going to do, like, for 4 hours. And I took so long in that one, I didn't end up going to any other. And the next day, Jerry was like, "Well, do you want to go?" I go, "No. Like, I feel like there's a reason I didn't go to anymore. I'm just going to, I will take my winnings and I will go." But yeah,
you got a good winning.
Yeah. My mom is like, literally like, "We are not Catholic. You bring home a saint every time you go somewhere. Like, where are you going to put them?" And I'm like, "I don't know yet, but somewhere, Mom." She's like, "Well, at least she's pretty. Okay, put her there now." I was like, "Okay." So I'm like, okay.
Dude, I'm not Catholic, and all of a sudden, I have all these saints,
right?
And all these velas, and all this.
Yeah, like I was raised.
I've got more rosaries now than I ever did in my life.
It's crazy, right? Because like we're raised Catholic, and then of course I'm a practicing Santera, so I don't believe in all of the things or anything that Catholicism is about. So, but I really like churches and I like the saints, and I'm like, okay, I can do this.
And welcome to another episode of Martine and Tanya make it all about themselves and say, fuck the guest.
Okay, anyway, sorry.
I love this conversation. I think it's
She's
very
like,
interesting.
what? Okay, tell us.
No, I love this conversation. I could listen to you guys talk all day.
Tell us.
You are so nice.
You are very nice.
You're very sweet and accommodating.
So you're.
We should steal something from you.
Okay. What do you want?
She's like, "I could give you this empty can." Okay, so your thing is you go to restaurants, bars. It has to sell food, right? Is that the deal, or can it be a bar with no food?
I mean, it can be. Honestly, now like I'm trying to like branch out to haunted places too, and just food. But mainly, I go to haunted restaurants and bars so I can talk about the food and talk about the ghosts.
I gotta ask you about the sassafras.
Yes.
Now, that is very New Orleans, very Cajun,
Yes.
that name. There used to be a restaurant in Long Beach called The Reef, and then it became the Sassafras.
The one
Years
by the
ago,
beach?
by the Queen Mary.
Yeah, the one
Yes.
across. I know what you're
Yes,
talking about.
yes,
Okay.
yes. And I remember going in there, and I was young. I was probably in my early 20s. And I remember it having this whole voodoo feel to it and this Cajun feel to it.
Really?
And then I remember at the bar, they had a bar there, and it said spirits served here. And that was the first time a Mexican fucking kid from, I don't know, that you call alcohol spirits.
Yeah.
And the bartender started explaining how when you drink, a lot of times you don't know what you did. And that when you put that alcohol in you, a lot of times you invite the spirits in and they take over. How many times have you done some crazy shit and you're like, I don't remember. There's people in prison because they don't know what they did.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And they say that it's a spirit that comes in, and that's why they call it spirits. Mm-hmm. And I never had heard that before. And so when I saw that sassafras, and supposedly it's haunted. I don't know much. I'll let you talk on that, but it caught my attention immediately.
Yeah. So this is the Sassafras Saloon, the one I did a video about, in Hollywood, and it's like a New Orleans vibe, and they have this house in there, an actual house from the 1800s that they shipped from the Carolinas and put it in their bar, and a woman died in it, in the house, and they kept all of the original bones, the original fireplace and everything. So there's already like a ton of energy in the bar just from like that whole entire house.
Is that on Hollywood? Where is that? In Hollywood Boulevard?
It's like it's near Hollywood Boulevard.
Okay.
I forget the specific street, but they're only open one day a week.
Oh, what?
Yes. Because I think they're struggling a little bit, and also I think
does that place not packed?
I don't know, but you know what? I was happy to know that my video actually helped their business during spooky season. They opened up like 3 times a week, which was really nice.
Oh, bro, we should go do something over there.
I'm down. They do private parties. Like you can rent it out.
Help them.
Like
yeah, because that just sounds like a badass. I mean, unless I don't know. I mean, but I have a good like I want to go see. Every time I go to New Orleans, I end up going to the voodoo section.
Me too.
Of town. And it's just, you could feel the fucking voodoo.
Yeah.
I bought a Guadalupe there the last time I went.
Did you?
Yeah.
I bought a, I met a homeless man, and he sold me like this.
Fentanyl?
This was pre-fentanyl. This was during Mardi Gras. He sold me like this weird looking voodoo doll, and I bought it from him, and I still have it.
On the street?
It was on Bourbon. You know what Bourbon is like, all clubs, and then this is when I went, it was all straight clubs, and there was a certain point where you cross,
and then the gay
and
flags.
It was gay, right? Then at that corner where
the
it
gay
changes,
spirits hang out over there.
well the
gay spirits.
this nice homeless man came up to me and was
the gay
like,
spirits are awesome.
was like, you don't want to go over there, they don't like girls. That's what he told me. And I was like, okay. And he was like, I got something to show you. And I was like, no. I was like with 10 girls. I'm like, no. And he's like, no, I'm gonna show you something. And I was like, fuck it. What do you want to show me? Bring it here. And he brought it, and it's like handmade. And I was like,
he gave it to you, or he sold it
to me.
Okay.
So I was like, whose is this? I go, did you steal it from a shop? And he's like, no, it's from my family. And I was like, no, it's not.
No, wait, no.
I was like, no,
so
it's
was he a
not.
crackhead and trying to get fucking?
He just looked like a drunk. Not a crackhead.
Bro,
you know, crackhead gives you a different vibe.
Yeah.
Drunks are like,
yeah,
I'm
but
not
drunks
that
ain't
worried.
trying to sell shit. You
Right.
really gotta want something.
He was
you know what I'm saying? Like it's usually hardcore drug addicts that are selling.
He was like,
I've
hungry.
never seen a drunk person.
He was like, I'm hungry.
Shit.
I'm homeless.
I'm drunk.
I'll sell this to you. And I was like, okay. He's like, I want $100. I was like, I will give you 20.
See, that's a crackhead if he took it.
And he was like, and then we bargained a little, and I gave him 30. And I was like, all right, bye, thanks. And then I came home with it. My mom was like, no fucking way. Leave that shit outside.
What'd you do with it?
I left it outside for a little bit. And then I asked it if something was walking with it. And it said yes. And then I asked if it should stay outside or if it wanted to come inside. Well, I had to tell it, like, if you want to come inside, like, there's no fucking around. Like, you cannot. So it wanted to stay outside. So it's in the prenda room. When you go to the house, I'll show it to you. It's in the prenda room. And you want to know something funnier? I sat it on top of one of the prendas and it started sinking in.
Oh.
So then it was just like an arm hanging out.
What the
And
dude.
it was fucking weird. But
how big is this thing?
That's pretty big.
I'm picturing a little freaking gingerbread man and shit.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
My pumpkin spice outfit.
You right?
Yeah. No, but it was pretty big. But back to this.
My
I would love to go to that place. And I think the fact that you've like said you want to help them and you would be down, that's probably something. We should look into it. We should help them.
Let's go check it out. But anyway, how did you find them?
Yeah, how the hell do you find these people?
People just comment on my videos and like, go here. And I'm like, okay.
And so you go to the Sassafras.
Yes, I made friends with the general manager. He gave me a tour. There's a lot of other little haunted pockets because they collect, like the person who collected all the memorabilia for the place. It's so crazy. There's this what is it called? Those dry cleaner things that like rotate.
The belt that goes around?
Yes, the belt. It's like over 100 years old, and there's only 5 of them left in the world. And like he has one, and it's like crazy. It hangs all the drinks and stuff.
What?
There's like all these paintings that they've collected from God knows where.
I saw your video, and it looks super
voodoo
impressive.
dolls too. They have voodoo dolls at the bar.
I thought it wasn't here. I thought it was not in LA. I saw that video and I was like, but I think I missed the part where you were saying where it was from. And I saw it too and I was like, where is that at? But I think it sounds super interesting.
Yeah, no, your videos are really good. Do you like? I don't know who does your. I mean, you probably do your editing. I
do.
Things.
I produce everything. I do it all. So it's fun. I love it though.
It's a new world, dude. Like all the kids now, the young generation, you know, they've grown up with this. They know how to film something. They know how to edit it. They know how to fix the sound. They know how to do cut. They know how to do everything. And next thing you know, it's up. It's incredible it's changed the world.
It really has.
And I think your videos are really good in particular. Like I met you through Tammy and everybody knows I love Tammy from Hollywood.
Me too.
And she's awesome because she researches the hell. I mean, Tammy's like an encyclopedia of knowledge, especially on spooky stuff. Like I will literally be walking somewhere. I'm like, Tammy, you know, but you're very good at that too, because I like the fact that you really like aren't in it for the shock and awe. It's more like, this is where this came from. This is what they're saying. Let's see if this happens. Yes. Even when we went to the bar together where I met you, it didn't feel like, sometimes people have the misconception that like psychics or mediums or people doing paranormal stuff, it's like a circus trick. Like you limpia me now, or you read me now,
bam,
or tell me something now.
When I met Tanya, that's what I said. Well, do a cleanse on me. She's like, that's not how it works. Like, you do cleanses, right? Yeah, well, cleanse me.
I was like, no.
Just make an appointment to get goddamn cleansing. What the hell? That's what you do, right? What the fuck's wrong with you?
He's all, isn't this fucking Burke Williams for witches? What the fuck is this? But yeah, I like the fact that you it's Burke Williams. Witch Williams. Bruja Williams. No, I like the fact that you like really research it, and it was like so like thought out and not like the shock and awe. I feel like there's so many like shock and like dumb shit. Right?
It's so boring. And it's
a lot of clickbait.
A lot of clickbait.
I'm trying to be honest because if I'm going to do this long term, I don't want to feel like I'm lying. That's not fun. There's no fun in lying to people.
No.
You know, it gets boring after a while faking shit. So I'm in it like, even if I don't get any activity in a video, I'll say it. I'll be like, I didn't get anything, but like, here's some stories. Like, go figure it out yourself. Like, go see.
So, okay, I'm coming back to the Sassafras.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a lady that died in there. There's bones in there, you said? No bones.
Not bones. They're the original bones of the house.
The bones of the house, like, yes. So there's like all the old material.
Yeah.
And shit. Now,
the fireplace, like everything.
And what's supposed to happen there? Like, is it the lady that died that haunts it? Or is it different spirits that haunt it? Or?
Different. There's these portraits of these 2 men by the fireplace, and they turn the lights on and off. Like, there's no way that they go automatically anywhere else. Like, you have to like physically switch them, and they do it all the time to the manager when he's alone. And I spoke with one of them, I think, on the spirit box, and they were saying go towards the fireplace, all that kind of stuff. Mustache, one of them had a mustache. Like, he said that he went to college in Washington. I don't know if any of this is true. I would love to have you guys come and
wait,
see.
The painting said this to you?
Through the spirit box.
Through the spirit box, like the painting. And I was having a full-on conversation with him. He was very sassy. He was like young. I think he died in a plane crash. That's what he kept kind of saying to me. And then the upstairs is a whole different thing. There's a painting up there that someone told me is their great-grandparents' wedding picture. They commented on my TikTok and they said, that's my great-grandparents, which is so strange. They don't have that picture.
You know what's crazy right now? No, keep going with that.
Yeah.
Keep going.
No, and then there's one more painting that at least 15 people commented on my TikToks. They said that they had that painting growing up in their house.
What?
And they were like, I've always felt something weird with that painting. It's a portrait of a woman.
Okay, the portrait of the woman that says, don't stare at her eyes? Or is that a different place?
That's the same place. That's the lady of the saloon. So she's the one, don't stare in her eyes too long, like it's evil, like it's you get a weird vibe throughout your body if you stare at her for more than like 5 seconds.
I still want to go and stare.
Yeah.
Why am I that person?
Because you're a
No,
chola.
me too. I was like,
I'm like, I want to stare at her right now.
Where you from,
I just want to stay there.
I was having a
My
staring
sweats,
contest.
goddammit. Yeah, I can't be told like, oh, this is okay. Let's go. But
I'm
no,
down.
that picture of that woman, that shit looked creepy.
It was,
It
and
looked creepy. Like I'm like, oh shit, like that was the real deal. Like,
yep.
wow.
Well, and the craziest thing is, a couple weeks ago, the general manager sent me a video, and he's like, "What is this? Like, what's going on?"
he's like, I don't know.
I was like, but he was at the upstairs bathroom in the men's bathroom, and there's like this cackling going on, like this cackling noise. I don't know if I showed you that video, but I'll show you guys after. And it's like like over and over again. And whenever he leaves the bathroom, it stops, and he goes back in, and it goes back on. He's like, "What is this?" And people were saying,
Get the freak out of here.
yeah, people were saying it could be pipes. People were saying
Like
it could have been
clacking?
an animal, but the timing.
But why
of
does he
it-
come in and out? And if it's pipes, why is it so specific to him?
Exactly.
Coming in and out.
Maybe it's something messing with him. They're messing with the pipes to mess with him. Like that's the only thing I'm
Maybe.
thinking. But like it
Oh
wasn't.
my
an
God, we gotta
animal.
go now.
Yeah, I do. And what day of the week are they open?
They're only open on Saturdays. They have a burlesque show, and they have New Orleans bar food, and it's really cool. But he says, "I am welcome back anytime."
You definitely
Anytime.
don't want to go when it's open because it's so hard. Like spiritually, we went to the Redwood, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which the manager was really nice, and there wasn't even a lot of people there. But it's so hard because you literally like pick up stuff from everybody. Like you can ask her. I was like, I'm sorry, I have to tell you something. I don't feel this, but I have to tell you something. And there's so
Yeah.
much. And people who are at a bar, usually, they have a lot of stuff going on. So it's like
That is true.
you don't want to be there with like 25. And I feel like when it's calmer, like noise wise, you can actually focus because it's hard to focus
Yes.
when it's all, you know what I mean? And then you're gonna start with shots, Martin, and then
No, I mean, I'm really curious to go visit this
Let's go.
bar. It just sounds like a cool place to even go hang out, regardless
Yeah.
of if it's haunted or not. It just the pictures of the pad and the pictures that they have there. It's like, whoa. And what's interesting is you said it's somebody's great grandparents, right?
the
Yep.
picture, right? Somebody
The
said
picture,
that.
There's a wedding photo there.
And how old is the person whose great grandparents that is?
It looked like they were in their 30s.
Okay,
didn't
so their
ask,
great grandparents
but-
wouldn't be that old then, right? Maybe 80s.
Right.
Great
Okay.
Maybe.
So
No, you guys, great grandparents is somebody who's 30. Hold on,
yeah, it would be like in their
It
80s.
looked pretty old.
Their parents would be in their 50s.
like 50, 60, right? So
Their
they're-
parents, yeah.
Oh, maybe because they had
Yeah.
kids earlier, right?
So
Yeah.
maybe in like the 1900s, early 1900s.
Yeah.
Probably.
Mid 1930 ish.
Maybe 30-ish to 40-ish. Now, I did for the first time 2 years ago a Day of the Dead thing with pictures of my relatives, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I had a lot of pictures from my mother's side and then some friends who had passed. And this year I was in and out and traveling so much, and I tried to do it. But what was really trippy is that it was my mom's 1-year anniversary that she passed in October, and my cousin came to visit. I never met my father's parents.
Mhm.
They died when I was like a baby. Like, well, my grandfather on my father's side died when my father was like 7, And so his mom died when he was like probably in his early 30s. So I never met these people. This lady, my cousin, brought me these pictures of these old people, like great grandparents of mine, and I'm in my 50s. So these guys are like,
yeah.
And it's these people that I've never met. I don't even know their names, but they're my relatives. And for some reason this year, all the pictures, or the majority of the pictures, were my father's side.
Oh, look. Maybe they wanted more attention this year.
But it was just random because I didn't... Dude, this lady brought the pictures unsolicited. And then I had them, and then they were in this manila envelope. And then when I started putting I got this like cork board, and I was going to put some pictures on there. Mm-hmm. And I never had time to go through the pictures, because I wanted to put other pictures up. But I had those, and I'm like, let me put these up. And I put them up. And the room that the backyard, there's that room that I go do my little wikis in.
The wiki room.
That, I had them in there. And every time I went in there and I lit candles and put water, the energy in there was strong.
Wow.
Like I could, even now I'm getting chills talking about it.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
It was like, it was just an incredible energy. And then Chiqui's grandmother had just passed. Mm-hmm. And I had a picture of her and the grandfather. And motherfucker, they talked to me. They were talking to me. And I never heard anything like it before. And the other day, Chiqui came in and she said something to me as I was coming out of the room. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm like, okay, I could chalk it up like we said before.
Either everything's a coincidence or nothing's a coincidence.
Correct, you know? And I'm like,
totally.
There's no way this is a fucking coincidence that you're walking up. Like, as soon as I walked out the door, Chiqui was right there. And she's like, oh, my God, you're not going to believe it. And she's telling me all this. And I'm like, no, I do believe that because I was just talking to these people right now. And it was just like everything I had been thinking was getting validated right there. And so the energy from her family and my family was working.
Oh wow!
It was working, and it's still working, man. Look at that. And so when you said that, it just triggered that thought of I have that picture of these old people that are related to me, which is fucking crazy. Anyway,
I think that's especially if nobody has attended them, right? Let's say, right? Because there are people maybe like in your case, these family members are people who maybe nobody has really taken the time. Let's be honest. People pass away. You
forget.
You remember them a few years. And then unfortunately, usually, unless you're spiritual and are attending to your ancestors, you forget. So I feel like those people, compiled by the fact that, I know Chiquis was close to her grandmother. And the fact that she's so recently departed, that's why we tell you not to do anything for people who have just passed away, because the energy is so chaotic and strong that
man,
you're getting chills, man.
That it gets super confusing. That's why I've had people message me and they're like, oh, this person passed away in my family. What do I do? And I'm like, don't do anything for 3 months, because I don't believe in purgatory, but I do believe that you do ascend somewhere. You're going to ascend somewhere as energy. And during the time that you're ascending, it's very chaotic, especially if somebody who's died like either in a tragic way, or maybe we call it hacer cama, when you're sick for a long time. Like the energy is very chaotic because these are people who had things to say, wanted to say things. So it's almost like a desperation. So it comes at you like very like fium, 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 Wow. So, but yeah, I totally believe that. I totally believe when you give things energy,
attention,
and it comes from a place of, there's a lot of people who think that you can buy spirits and you can do all these bad things to people and you can this and you can make them your slaves. Like we joke around, right? Like I took the Virgen home and now she's going to work for me. Like
that's why you brought the
That's why I bought the black
Same,
one.
Right?
No, but
You colonizer, you. Did you take a Bible with you, you bitch?
Oh my. I took a rosary and I hit her with it. No, so I feel like there are people who do that, but then there's people who genuinely just want to give those spirits light and,
And dude, that's all I was doing. Just here's some water and here's some light.
So when that happens,
and that was it.
I feel like it comes from a good place. Mm-hmm. And then I feel like you almost build a rapport. I don't know how to explain it,
Mm-hmm.
but then they're like able to communicate with you. Of course, when it's happening, you're like, I'm fucking going cuckoo.
You definitely thought I was.
This
And
is
again, I'm
fucking
like, I don't even
insane.
know these people's name. But, their DNA is alive in me.
Right.
So they are living. So and when I silence everything, that's when those voices come out. When I'm like meditating and everything's like at zero, which is hard to do, but when I do, that's when it's like, that's when all those motherfuckers show up.
Well,
that's exactly what's been happening to me with meditation recently. I just found out that my great grandma is buried in Compton, and she died at 23, which is my age right now.
23.
She died in 1926 of tuberculosis, and I keep like feeling like that energy around me.
Do you look like
for
her?
some reason? I do look a lot like her.
Do you remember when I met you?
Yes. When you said that, I was like, oh wow, because that's right around the time where I found out about her, and I haven't visited her yet, but her grave is forgotten. Like no one has gone to see her at all.
Well, yeah, 1923.
So 1926 is when she died. She was born in 1903.
That was your grandmother?
Great grandmother.
Great grandmother.
She has to be at the cemetery in Compton that's like very old, and it's a mausoleum,
Yep.
and it's like on Abbott or something. I know exactly what cemetery that's at, by the way. Stop bunting. I only know because.
No. My grandma's in Wilmington.
Oh, okay. My grandma is at my house.
And my great grandma.
Her ashes are with me.
My great grandma is in a small town in Mexico.
Okay.
But I have pictures of them.
My great grandma is at the
those
Basilica
Really?
in Mexico City. In an urn underneath.
Wow, that's
Wow.
cool.
But you see, I think that happens, right? So now you do the spooky foodie thing, right? And which I'm sure you didn't wake up and you were like, oh, life plan, spooky foodie. That's not how it goes.
No, yeah.
Right?
Right.
So that has to be something that's calling you to all these things. So
It's wild because I always knew I was a little sensitive to spirits my whole life. You know, growing up in Vegas, I would go to the mines. The mines would always call me to go there when I was like 6 and 7 years old. I would go in there alone and like I would see things and I would hear things talking to me and I didn't know what it was. And then just growing up my whole life, I've always been into it and I've always felt things there, but I've never really, I never really dived into it until recently. And now it's just opening up to me even more.
can I ask how you were raised religiously?
My parents, my mom was Jewish and my dad is Christian. So, but I never believed in any of it. I just believed
Jews for Jesus.
Yeah, right.
No, that's a thing.
Yeah, it is a thing.
Yeah,
like
I used to give them money when I was evangelical.
Yeah.
Martin's been run the gamut. But you were not anything in particular. Like it was very open. You could not practice anything. It's okay.
They didn't care. They were like, oh, whatever.
Did they ever take you to like
yes,
temple?
I went to church and I went to temple. And I was just like, I don't know about all this. I know that there's something out there, but I don't know if it's this. So I've always just been very chill about it. I know there's a higher power, but
So you're in Vegas, and when do you come here?
I came here 5 years ago, to go to Chapman.
Okay, in
Orange
Irvine.
County.
In Irvine.
Yeah, so I was a screen acting major there. I went to film school, and then I just came out here to downtown, feeling super lost in the acting world.
No wonder
being
you could
like,
make some great fucking videos. You went to film school.
I did.
motherfucker.
Yeah, I know.
Forgot to leave that. Yeah,
She's
it's
like,
taking you-
oops.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be humble, you know.
She's like,
I'm
"My
giving her props.
bad."
Oh, your generation grew up with these things. Yeah. Also, I went to film school.
for
asshole.
4 years.
So, and I graduated. Thanks. Okay.
Yeah, so I was like, screw it, man. Like, I'm gonna do what I really like doing, and I'm so grateful that I found this. It's cool to build an audience. You know, it gets attention too from the acting industry for sure.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
There's another video
Yes.
where you're in like it looks like a basement, and
She's like, give me more. I've been to a lot of
and then
basements.
I've been to a lot of business.
and then I think Tammy's there, and
Oh, it has to be with me.
then somebody says, I heard somebody behind me or something like that. Is that
Oh yes, yeah, that was Eddie at the Redwood
yeah.
Bar. Yeah.
Okay.
So, the bathroom of the Redwood Bar, they feel like there's like this old man, creepy ghost that spies on girls in the bathroom and walks back and forth. Ronda Rousey too used to work at the Redwood Bar before she went super big in the boxing world. But yeah, she saw a shadow figure right in front of her of an old man on the stage. and every staff member has seen this figure.
Where is the Redwood Bar?
It's in downtown on 2nd Street.
If you would I've gone to a lot of bars. I told her.
2nd Street is that by Chinatown? Or am I lost? Am I confused?
It's off a hill in 2nd.
Yeah, Hill.
It's off a hill in
Street.
2nd.
Yeah, so that's close to Olvera and Chinatown.
But it's like the buildings like this, and they're on this side.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, if you walk by it, you'll miss it. Like, there's no, like, I've been to downtown a million times.
What was that other place? The Vault?
This is Upmore.
This
is Upmore, and it's weird because you walk in and then you walk in again. There's like 2 doors, but it was very it was super cool because I'd never been there, and the whole bar, you kind of get like a weird feeling, and it was super nice, right? But it was very interesting to see, like, they dated back to like the mobster days in LA, and it was really just the history. It was awesome.
Yeah,
and the ghost was cool.
Mickey Cohen's bar is their bar. Like, Mickey Cohen owned that bar. And so it was so interesting when you kept hearing like that sailor shit. Like, I hate that sailor shit or whatever.
Oh,
that made so much sense. They don't like the way that they made the
bar.
The
whole
look
bar now is like nautical, and I kept hearing somebody tell me, like, this is not how it looked. We like all this sailor shit wasn't here. The sailor shit, and I was like, did this always look like this? Because there's some man telling me that this is not the business, and they're like, no, it looked completely different.
And that place is haunted as well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And you're like, you said that with confidence, like, No,
well, we went downstairs because there's like a bunch of tunnels downstairs, the basement, and we were picking up something. And then upstairs, I was telling everybody that in the middle part, we should go, Martin, in the middle part. So it's almost like a sitting room before the bar, right? It's like weird. When we stayed there to talk, I was like, this place feels super heavy. Like, this part particularly, I don't know why. But they were open, so there was people there. So that it's kind of hard sometimes. But definitely you feel like a presence in there. We were walking downstairs, and I was like, what is this? Like, what is going on here? But yeah, they have a spirit. We need a spirit box.
Please educate me. What the fuck is a spirit box?
Go ahead.
Oh my goodness. It's like a radio, and you sweep forward just like all the radio waves, and the spirits use the energy and the sounds from it to create voices and stuff.
We need one.
That's kind of a bad definition. But that's kind of basically what it is.
It's like a walkie-talkie for the dead people.
Yeah, but now they have even better ones, like the one that
Matt has.
And
I'm
you
like,
hear,
I
and you
need
hear
that.
what you hear voices.
Yes, like now with the technology, now you can hear tones of voices. Like, we heard a man and a woman talking and bickering among one another. Like, not even talking.
And you could make out it's so, like, because I know I've used the one that you use.
But you don't want to fuck with a Ouija board.
No, I mean, I don't have a problem with the Ouija board, but I want to tell you, when I got home that day from you guys, I was like telling Jerry, I need to buy one of these fucking spirit boxes. I want to put in the. I told her that she should come to my house during a mass and just put the spirit box on. How crazy!
I am down to come to your house anytime.
How crazy would that fucking be,
bro?
How crazy would
you
that
should
be?
come.
I've been to her house a few times.
Spirit box session.
Yeah, there's people talking regardless if there's a box
but
or not.
But it tells you, like, it tells you yes, no.
What?
And then if it doesn't want to talk anymore, it's like no. And then it'll, like, ignore your ass. Like, okay. Like, it'll tell you names.
Of spirits.
It'll tell
everything.
You
occupation, age.
You want to know what I think is funny? That day that we went, they like her. So they wouldn't talk to Matt at all.
It's so strange.
And they would talk to her. And then Tammy and I were like, oh, they like her. She's been here, so they like her. They, she's talking to them and they're talking back. Because literally it only answered her questions, my questions, and then it wouldn't answer. It was like, fuck off. Like, we're not going to do this.
Wow.
But we need a spirit box.
No, yeah. Dude, I need a spirit box, and I need to go to these places, these bars, these restaurants. When we talk to, who's the dude that wrote the book?
James?
Haunted by History?
Or Gourmet Ghosts?
No. Oh my gosh, I forgot his name right now. Let me look him up.
Haunted
but yeah, he was on our
History.
podcast. He's Haunted by History is his.
So this dude
handle.
was a filmmaker, and then he became a photographer, and then an author. And what he went out there and he wanted to take a picture replicate from the 1930s. So he found this ancient hotel, and he got a model. She dressed all all like glammed up, and they were gonna do this shoot in this beautiful architecture. And it turned out that night he kept hearing furniture moving all night. And he thought that it was the model, Craig Owens. So he thought it was the model moving the furniture. And then she thought it was him moving the furniture. And then he heard voices, and he heard this, and he heard that. And so his first intent was, I want to go do this photo shoot. But then it turned into this, I want to come back here and figure out what the fuck is going on.
Like,
so
who is this?
Yes. Yeah. So then he started going to all these old hotels and just investigating. And some of them claimed to be haunted, and he kind of like
dispelled it.
Debunked it. Yeah.
He debunks it.
And then, so he's like, if there's nothing here, he goes, a lot of it is created, just like you were saying earlier, like, why lie? That's a lot of work to lie. But back in the day, people would do it because it would generate business.
Yeah.
And people would come because, the ghost of Marilyn Monroe. You might run into the ghost of Marilyn Monroe. You might run into the ghost of blah, blah, blah. And so people go, generates dollars, everybody gets an envelope, everybody's happy, right? But this dude is legitimately out there, and he's experiencing this phenomenon, and he documented it all on this pretty thick book.
Yeah, I actually started reading it. It's like
it's heavy.
It's a heavy book, but he's turned into almost a historian.
Yes, thank you. That's what the word I was looking for.
Because he has researched it down to the original owners, down to the people who built the building, down to. So he's
the money that financed it, all of that shit.
He's not so much on the spiritual side. He's actually very interesting because he completely like gets rid of the bullshit kind of, and is like, look, I don't believe in any of this, and I felt it. Like there's something, which I think that. There are places where people are like, oh, it's super haunted. And then you go and you're like, oh, but it's not. Which it's still a cool place to go. Like you can go, you went somewhere that I love. I love Cantor's.
Oh my God, love Cantor's.
I love Cantor's.
Crazy.
And I always thought that bathroom was freaky. And then I saw and I was like, I knew that fucking bathroom.
So there were two. A chef died of a heart attack upstairs in the kitchen at Cantor's, and heart attack on the spirit box kept coming through over and over again, which was wild. And then 3 girls drove home drunk from the kibitz room and got in a car crash on the highway and all died. And one of them came back to the kibitz room and was talking to us about it.
Oh,
spirit box.
What?
She followed me. I swear she followed me and my boyfriend home. She liked my boyfriend. I really do think so. And I
didn't want to give him a threesome, you selfish motherfucker. She was already loaded.
Oh, no, I'm feeling it.
She was down.
No, yeah, she was, I don't know, like, it was crazy. And so we like,
if no one's, you've been to that bar, right? At Cantor's?
Yes.
Okay, that bar is like a total dive. Like now it's better, but I went there like in the early 2000s, girl. It was like not the business.
It's still like that.
It smelled like,
no offense, guys.
Yeah. I mean, but it's great. Like it's totally LA. You have to go.
There's
But I love the because I love Cantor's.
It's so haunted too.
Bars.
Thinks so.
When I first started going on the road, we'd always try to figure out like which bar, because there was a lot of drinkers back then, and we'd figure out which bar was the oldest bar in town or whatever.
Okay.
So we went to a bar like that in, I want to say it was Cleveland, and it was, I'm talking dive bar, and it was old ass
Those
bar.
are my favorites.
Those are my favorite too.
My favorite.
In Santa Monica, there's an old bar, the Ches J.
That wasn't a show. That was in a Netflix show. The guy used to live across the street from it, and he's like a alcoholic attorney. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I think that's been there for
It's old.
Old, super old, and
I'm gonna have to go there.
Yeah,
it's been there forever, like more than 40 years.
And so, way more than that.
Yeah,
closer to 100.
Okay.
Oh, wow, I knew it was like
J.
Ches J.
Yeah, the Ches J. Chiqui, do me a favor. Are you there? Can you Google the Ches J? How old it is? CHEZ Jay.
Do you remember the little temple in Santa Monica, on Santa Monica?
Which one?
The one, the not the little temple in Hollywood, but the one in Santa Monica, the little temple bar. There used to be one on. So I worked there.
Oh, yes, I do.
I worked there to put myself through school, like partially. I worked there. That place was haunted as shit. It's closed now. But you would like wait. They had like a reggae night and stuff, and you would wait.
59.
Oh, dang it.
So 60. So that's 40 60 years old.
60 years old.
Yeah.
Más o menos. But the little temple, you would go to the back, and you would be here, and there would be the dishes would be there, and somebody would knock the dish off. To the point where at that time I was in school, I wasn't into I already had saintdom, but I really wasn't practicing as much as I do now. And I would just be like, well, just come with me. But there was a lot of Jamaican people who worked there with me. And they'd be like, don't stay here. Don't close. I was like, oh, I don't like it here. But it was super. They would knock, it's here and now it's here. I was like, what the fuck?
There's a bar. I don't know if I told you the last time I went to Ensenada. When I was 19, maybe 19, 18, before 20, definitely before 20. We were getting loaded out there, and we're at Husson's Cantina.
I love that place.
And Husson's.
She's like, me too.
So Husson's in the 80s was like the bar to be. The owners got screwed. 90s, the owners got screwed out of that bar. Yeah.
Wait, is it it's a chain though, right?
No. Papa's and Beer is the chain.
Okay, there's one Husson's in Vegas now.
Okay, so Husson's was the first bar. I think it's late 1800s, early 1900s. It was founded, and it was a German dude. Hussong was his last name. It was a German guy who started brewing beer. And it was a family-owned little bar there. It was the only fucking game in town. And it had Husson's beer. They had their own beer, Husson's Cerveza. They owned the gift shop on the block there. What the story because all of a sudden they were irrelevant. They didn't matter anymore. It was like everybody was at Papa's and Beer. Papa's and Beer owns like Rosarito, Ensenada. That is the bar, right? And so, but Husson's used to be the shit, and Husson's, supposedly the lawyer that was gonna get the trademark done, ended up like he kept like everything that they merchandised, anything that was Husson's, the lawyer owned, and so the people there kind of like just were like really disheartened, because they didn't. He literally took it out from under them, right?
Wow.
And now it's a shadow of what it used to be, because there used to be 2 stories, and we used to get loaded. Anyway, I said all that to say that one night we closed it down, and this one dude said, I have a bar right down the street. We could keep the party going. And so we go there, and we got fucked up. The bar was called El Trocadero, right? I think it might be the second oldest bar.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And so we got loaded that night. Forgot all about it. I go back, and it's a year after my mom had gotten sick. And she had already passed, but it was right around the same time that she had gotten sick. And I was out there with Otto. And we were drinking. No, we went to go eat. Actually, we had gotten... it was right after Dodger Stadium. We got fucked up at Dodger Stadium at the show. And then I did not want to drink. I just wanted to go eat.
Do you see a theme?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I know.
He's just getting loaded,
I know.
He's having a great time.
When you walked in, he was like, I got so loaded this weekend.
It's the spirits. You're drinking a lot of spirits.
That's true. And so we walked out of there, and I go, hey, man, I was in that bar fucking a long time ago. We should just go in there, have a little nightcap.
Because we're already fucked up. Let's not cap it out.
No. This was like
pre.
This was we're after we had just gotten there. We checked in. We went to go grab a bite to eat, and we ended up right by that bar. I said, "Hey man, when I was 19. Let's just go." And this was literally last May, and so we go over there, and the owner's there.
Oh shit! What are the chances?
And I start talking to him, and then I'm looking, and we're looking at all the pictures, right? And I go, man, and it was just literally him and a woman who used to be a waitress there, and she's just hanging out with him. And I start looking at all these pictures, and I go, man, these are very old. And he goes, oh, this is, there's only Husans is older than us. And I was like, no shit. And he goes, yeah. He goes, all the fishermen, when they'd come into port, this is where they'd come. And all the business people, this is where they'd hang out. I go, fishermen? And I go, were you here like in the 30s and 40s? He goes, oh, definitely. I was like, my fucking dad was on those fucking boats out of Guaymas. And he goes, was he a shrimp boat? I go, yes. And he goes, yeah. He goes, they'd all come and drink. I go, but that was a fucking stone alcoholic. And I'm like, there's no way in fuck my dad, and I'm getting chills again,
he's going to miss
didn't
this
get
bar.
fucked up in this bar. And then it just became, I just started doing shots with this fucking bartender, and he's just telling me stories. And we're drinking. I think we put away a whole bottle of tequila, between me, him, and Otto. And he, we bought some, but he gave us a lot of them. He was just really cool. And I started telling him about my dad and coming out of Guaymas and the this and the that. And he started just telling me all these fascinating stories about, life back then there. And I'm like, God, this is, and I've always been fascinated with old bars. So it's crazy that you said that about these old bars. But yeah, I felt like, what are the chances that as a teenager I drank there, I'd find it again and then realize this crazy fuck drank here too,
Well, that's the whole thing, right? There's like no coincidence.
What a coincidence.
I'm sure that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No coincidence. There's no coincidences. Like, what are the chances, right? Like, what are the chances that you went to films totally for something? You weren't like, I'm going to go on TikTok and be the spooky foodie, right?
Never knew.
So, and now it's like going so good for you. Like, your trajectory is like awesome. And you like it, right? Like, you like it. So it's like there has to be something more.
It's like I remember the moment when it happened. My boyfriend and I were driving, and I was feeling super depressed, like very lost in life, and I did not know what I wanted to do with content. And he said to me, there's this speaker that he listened to that day that said, find 2 things you love most in this world and make that your niche and do it. And he was like, what are the 2 things you love most in this world? And I was like, food. And he's like, and ghosts. And he says, you should go to haunted restaurants. And there was this feeling, I've never felt this before in my life, that just came upon me, and it was kind of like, oh my goodness, like that's what I'm meant to do, like in this world.
So like a televangelist right now.
You know what I mean?
So touch the screen.
And then the Spirit of the Lord came upon me and said, go forth, Penny.
Exactly. I'm
spooky.
very expressive, but like that, it was like crazy. That's how it felt though in that moment. It was just like, oh my goodness, like there it is. Like the light came on. And so then I went to Clifton's like the day after, and then overnight.
I love Clifton's too.
My uncle worked at Clifton's.
Really?
And we're talking, it had to have been 50s.
Clifton's is sad too because they redid it, right? Mm-hmm. They had all those different rooms, and then for a little bit it was busy. Yes. And then it just wasn't. And then there was like, it was sad. It was like a skeleton. It was sad.
They just opened their basement. They made a new bar.
Okay.
It's downstairs. Did you know that there's ashes scattered in Clifton's? Like, from the owner's mistress. So the owner's mistress passed away, and he wanted the ashes to be scattered.
Bad bitch.
She wanted them to be scattered?
He wanted them to be scattered in the walls. So
he has other issues, I feel like, but
that's kind of hot.
That's right. That's like eternal.
It's like, oh,
him
my
and his
side chick is still here.
Him and his wife, him and his new side chick are there. Him and his wife, like what?
She's still there.
She's still here. That's how hot. That's how much she turned me on.
What is the creepiest place you've been to?
Yamashiro.
I love Yamashiro,
what?
And I like the food.
That's haunted too?
Yeah, of course.
The amount of things that have happened at Yamashiro, I could go on and
I
on
love
and
Yamashiro.
on and on about everything that has gone on at Yamashiro.
Isn't it the lady in the pond or the lady in the with the koi fish or something?
So there's the weeping woman.
That one.
Yes, So
how Mexican am I? The lady in the pond.
Well, wait. The weeping woman is more Mexican. The La Llorona.
La Llorona. Yes. So there's ties.
I knew it was something like something with the water.
Oh my! Because my boyfriend had his own experience with her when we were there for the first time. But yeah, Yamashiro was originally a museum, and then it became a brothel and an illegal casino. In the 30s and 40s, and this woman got shot upstairs in the main room of the brothel, and she got shot and killed, and now it's the bridal room suite. And she's up there. Like when you go up there, when I went up there, I felt it immediately. In one of the rooms, I felt like I was going to cry. Like I had to leave the room, and then I go back into the room and she's gone. Like she ran out. She went down the stairs. We heard footsteps coming up the stairs. We thought someone was coming because we snuck in. And so my boyfriend pulls my jacket. He's like, we have to leave. We have to go. And something just in his side. Like there was no one going up the stairs, by the way. It was her. And something just hit him in the side. And he goes, oh, because he touched me. And so I told the story on TikTok, and a couple girls commented saying that they got into arguments with their boyfriend at Yamashiro, and the same thing happened to them. They felt like they got punched in the back or punched in the side.
Chills left and right now.
Because she doesn't like it when people get into arguments, or like when a man puts his hands on a woman, like she gets mad.
Oh wow!
Oh,
and
I
could feel it there. I know. I love that. That's my girl.
I like her.
Well,
she's way better than that hoe in the walls at Clifton's. Okay.
Hate her.
She's loyal. She's loyal.
I like her. She's pro women.
Oh my god.
But I like
Crazy.
Yamashiro's, right? I've been to Yamashiro's a few times. I've been drunk a few times at Yamashiro's, which is dangerous because it's like, take it to your car.
Yeah.
But the first time I went to Yamashiro's, I went with somebody, and I was like, this place is weird.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a weird restaurant. I go, why would this be a restaurant? They're like, well, I don't know. Like, it's just a restaurant. I was like, this has to be. And I never knew it was a brothel.
It was a brothel, and before
It'd be a cool ass brothel, though.
It was two brothers. I think they were American, but they wanted to recreate like one of the temples from Japan, and they made it into like a museum, and then they ran out of money, and then that's how it became like a brothel.
Wow. Everybody always runs out of money.
You know, like they have bed and breakfasts.
Mm-hmm.
They should do like brothels and like.
And breakfast?
Brothels and waffles or some shit.
I would go.
Hose and egg rolls. Let's go.
Eggos.
I fucking
Hose and Eggos.
I know.
Oh my God.
Imagine.
I
would
can't
go
imagine.
though.
Brothels and waffles or waffles and brothels.
You should start there.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. How about this? I forgot to tell you guys something that I just remembered because you're talking about Yamashiro's.
Yeah.
So at that museum I went to a gray face museum in Savannah. They found a record, Martin, in the wall of chanting and people speaking in tongues in the wall.
That's awesome.
From
an record
album, and the man had written "Mama," chanting, and I saw it with my own eyes, and speaking in tongues. And they played it because they had a Halloween thing. And the girl who gave me the tour, she was like, I'm going to be honest with you. None of this. They have all the paintings from John Wayne Gacy. They have stuff from Charles Manson. They have all this. You would love it. All kinds of shit. Or you guys would both love it. She's like, nothing freaks me out except for that. When they played it, she's like, I thought it was going to be very gimmicky. You know, like, she goes, it's not. It's like the fucking real deal.
Bro, I
was like, what? How can I get a copy?
I love it. I love it. I told you I have a few albums from televangelists in the 60s and 50s under the tent, and they recorded it. It is fascinating.
She dated it, and I think this was from 1911.
Oh, dude, come on.
Like right when records first came out.
Can they like reproduce it?
I told her, what are you guys going to do with it? She's like, well, we're scared. She's like, we're scared to like do anything. We wanted to see if it would play. We played it. She's like, so now we might make copies.
Oh,
I guess the owner is pretty respectful of like voodoo and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I mean, if they put it in there, they wanted it to be found.
Right? I feel like
like they thought this is going to be a hell of a fucking
I'm gonna bury some shit in my house.
I've seen people that when they remodel their shit,
they put in the walls.
They'll put like fake bones in there.
I wanted to do that.
My
mom
bones,
was not down.
They'll do all kinds of shit. Like they'll have like people sitting on a chair, you know.
They will. Contractors will put the fake plastic bones in the wall for when people are looking for them.
Yeah.
But you know, in Victorian times, people would put their kids' shoes in the walls.
Yes.
So if you buy an old Victorian house, and you usually find shoes.
Why?
It's for good luck.
What if you remove the shoes?
Well, people have, right? And that's when you like read about like, oh, this house is haunted, da 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 da, whatever. But I just feel like there's so many haunted places. You're gonna be in business forever, girl, because like there's a million haunted places.
Yeah, and I'd love for you guys to come. Seriously,
oh my God,
I'm learning every day. I'm learning every day.
I know. I'm fascinated by that. I would love to go to that. I want to go to that spot. specifically the sassafras.
We should go.
I would love to go to the sassafras.
We can get there alone. We can get alone time.
Oh, great! We could just scare the shit out of each other.
Yeah,
I'm in. Let's
Martine's like,
do it.
Let's go scare the.
So now, okay, so you're putting up all this content, and what is your what's your vision? What's your goal? Or are you just doing it and seeing where it goes, or do you have like this map of a blueprint of what you want to do?
I joked with Tammy on this because she asked me this question, and I said, like, right now I'm just trying to learn the algorithms of everything. Like, it's just it's not. I don't want to say a challenge, but like it's something I have to get through. I eventually want to do a TV show or something like that, long form YouTube content or something on Netflix or Hulu, but I have to just figure out all the platforms first, figure out the audience and what people really like, and see where that goes.
People love ghosts, and people love food, and people love alcohol. So I think you've hit. And
those are my three favorite things.
Dude, I love me too. That's why I was like, let's do it.
No, that's when that's the advice that your boyfriend gave you. That's phenomenal advice, and I know he had heard a speaker say it, but the fact that he was able to pass it on at that moment is it's awesome. I remember hearing something years ago also with a hypnotist said this, and he said there's this thing about time and what do you do with your time, and it's like what is it that if money was no object.
I've heard this. What would you do?
What would you do? No, but there's a thing with Alan Watts that he did that as a speech, but this was in a different context, right? And he said, so what would you do? And then he said, take an hour of day, an hour. There's 24 hours in a day. He goes, doesn't matter if you get paid, but for that 1 hour, do that. And you'll have the satisfaction of you're living your dream. And before you know it, you're doing it. If you do an hour a day, 5 days a week, that's 5 hours. Before you know it, in 1 month, you've put in 20 hours. And he goes, who doesn't have an hour a day? If you don't have an hour a day, then you really don't want to do it.
That's
and so before you know it, you would have built this body of work. And that body of work is going to open up doors. And before you know it, that hour will turn into 2 hours, into 3 hours. And before you know it, you'll be doing it all the time. But just dedicate 1 hour of every day to what you love, which I thought was freaking phenomenal.
And I do feel like when you get messages like that, I feel like sometimes people are a conduit to give you that message. Like the fact that you're at that moment, your boyfriend had heard that person, like he was a conduit to get a message to you. Like there's been times where even Martin and I have talked about things, and I'll tell Martin, oh, you know what? You gave me a message that I was supposed to hear, because we're talking about something, and then Martin will say something to me and it'll like click, and I'm like, oh fuck, that's me. Like my grandmother. So my grandmother on my father's side was a bitch, and she died, and it was a long time ago, and I don't have her in my altar. I told Martin, like, she was fucking mean, right? Like, I'm not gonna do that,
right?
And we were talking about it one day, and Martin's like, you're wrong. And basically he's like, but maybe this is because she had come up in a reading, and I told him, can you believe this shit? Like, I'm not gonna do this. And he was like, but you're wrong, because maybe that's what you need to do for you, like for me to cut whatever I was holding on to. And I remember that day I was like, you know what? I'm going to listen to you. I went home. I put a picture of her. I did everything. And I felt like not the bigger person, but I felt like, oh, this was like a message for me so that I could also heal that trauma. Because instead of pushing so hard on not wanting to do something, she's already a spirit. She's been dead a lot of years. She suffered in her death, whatever. But now I am releasing that. Like, I'm releasing it. I don't want to I don't want her to be a guide. Like, I don't want none of that. Like, I'm not down with that. But I'm also releasing that energy. So sometimes I feel like people are a conduit to give you a message. And I think that when that happens, there's a spirit talking through that person. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
100%, because that thing that you just said to me, like, that hit me super hard just now. Like, just finding that hour, like, even if I have to go to work, like, finding that hour every day, like, that makes a big difference.
Because you're putting in that, and it eventually becomes this body of work.
Yeah.
You know, and again, if you really want to do it, you'll find that fucking hour.
Yeah,
I mean, dude, people scroll for how long?
Yeah, that's true.
I play video games like.
She's like, what is going on?
You know what I mean? No.
Like,
we kill an hour doing like bullshit a lot of
Yeah.
times.
And I think sometimes we doubt ourselves, right? Like, I think it's very human. You're your worst
Yes.
critic and you doubt yourself. And I feel like sometimes there's like these, especially, so something happens with spiritualities when you spend time with somebody and then you become friends on a different level. Like, Martina and I are friends, and I feel like now we have like a weird thing where sometimes I do feel like he's giving me a message, because I think that I'm open to certain things that come from him, where if it came from somebody else, I'm very like, no, I'm not gonna fucking do it.
What's that, Spirit of the Lord? What? I can't. What's that?
He's all, told her to stop buying
Got
Black
it.
Saints.
Okay. Sounds good.
So,
Okay.
not that Martin is psychic. I just think, because I know how you fuckers get, you think he'll heal you. He will not. I think
Oh, I'm a healing son of a bitch.
he is, but he's currently in the practice stage. He's in his residency stage, not his full doctor fucking mode. But I think that spiritualities,
That is so funny.
I think spiritualities get along. And I think that sometimes the spirits that
Yes.
walk with you get along with mine, so they communicate. Just like we meet people together and apart, Martina and I. We've met some pretty interesting people
I
that
bet.
will never make it on this show. We'll leave it at that.
Period.
But then there'll be people who I meet and I'm like,
Forgiveness, Spirit of the Lord, and understanding and compassion. Got it.
fuck them. No. And then I'll meet people and I'm like, Martin, we should have her on. Yeah, she's cool. You know, because
Yeah.
I think that you cannot be like all gimmicky. Like, it's
Dude,
not all
the
fucking
gimmick shit,
poltergeist.
the gimmick shit, you know, like, and see, look, I'm a comic by nature, and I talk shit by nature. And so a lot of times,
I
bro,
love that though. I get it though.
I did a show in San Diego, okay? There might have been 60 people in the audience. You know, it wasn't a fluffy show with 50,000. And I had,
Wasn't a stadium.
I was doing some merch, and I told Chiki, I said, hey man, pack me up a few of those removed panty, pack me 10 removed panty packets. Just pack them up, see what happens.
This is the merch. It's a long story, but
I know.
So
Yeah. it's
so
okay.
so I'll go to these like these botanicas, these like the witchcraft stores, and they have these, dude. Some of these candles, Tanya, by the way, are pretty goddamn like sexist, okay? Because it's like dominalo, like dominate him, and it's some poor bastard on his knees with a chick fucking like gonna hit him and
Did
shit.
you
Sounds
not
good
hear?
to me.
Did you not hear what men have been doing to us? That ashes from that other hoe are in
Okay,
clip
no. He's letting her party for eternity, bro. That's fucking good guy. He doesn't got.
She
you
can't
know.
even rest when she's dead.
Well,
He's like, no, bitch, you went in the
she probably
water.
said, "I want to stay in this bar."
She
This is
did
where I
not
wanna
fucking
go.
say, put me in this cafeteria.
Anyway,
I would never
anyway,
want that.
so there's like, you know, there's these other candles, like some chick with like a, looks like she's
Yo puedo más
like
que
a sex
tú.
slave with a fucking gag in her mouth, and it says "tapa boca," shut the fuck up, literally. And so and it's like these crazy candles, and then they had this powder with a big old like Telemundo booty, and the panties coming down, and it says remove panties, and I'm like,
This powder's
okay,
gonna help you get there.
I'm buying these fucking powder, right? So I get the powder,
Oh, fucking
and it's been chilling there, and I said, let me take 10 of them. So I go on stage and I start talking about how televangelists will sell $1,000 miracle blankets,
but you're gonna sell
and
this.
how they sell, and I did this whole spiel, and I said, get this
I'm
powder,
fucking
and if you have faith,
Cheekies.
bro.
They all sold.
I'm 15 minutes into my set when I start talking about this. Guy in the front row says, I'll take it. And so I got it in my hand, right? And I go, no shit? He goes, yeah. I go,
Martin shot too.
Hold on. I said, woo, the miracle's already working. You see that, guys, the miracles. And so then he hands me $100 bill. And I said,
I got no change, buddy.
I said, it's only $10. And he goes, I know, I'll take 10. And I'm like, shut the fuck up.
First of all, sir, who are you that
What
you
a
need all
flex,
this?
right? What a flex.
Total flex, unless
And
you're
so-
his date.
and so
Then
he's-
you're like,
And so then
I'm not a
I'm like,
robot anyway.
Hooter. I go, he's on a date, right? And he's like, I'm like, Hooter, bring me 9 removed panty packages, right? So I guess Hooter's out there counting, and he brings them, right? And dude gives me $100. I give him the goddamn packages. And I'm like, the fuck? I'm missing out. I need to be taking these to every goddamn show, right? And so we get, the show's over. We're outside taking pictures and shit. I get some shirts out there. And he goes, bro, if you would have brought more of these removed panty things, he goes, people were asking, hey, where are they? And he goes, we sold out. And they go, no, that guy was just a plant. Where are they? Yeah. And he goes, bro, we have no more. He goes, everybody asked me for these fucking panty removers. And I was like, shut the fuck up. I go, and we only had 10. And he goes, yeah, we only had 10. I go, fucking cheeky, man. How does she only pack 10?
Cheeky's fault.
We got all these goddamn packets at home. Oh, I guess she's saving them. So then I call her like an asshole, put her on speaker. I go, hey, Cheeky, do we have any more of those? I'm setting her up. Do we have any more of these removed? She goes, yeah, you've got like 50 more. I go, oh, yeah, and you only sent 10? She goes, well, that's what you told me to send. You said, send me 10. And I go, when did I say that? She goes, when I talked to you earlier and you told me, send me X amount of this, and 10 removed. And I go,
Cheeky's like, your fault. I knew it,
all right. Well, you should have packed more.
You should have given me more.
Now you know, ignore him and pack double.
But
that is so funny.
How crazy is that shit, dude?
I want to tell you that I get messages of people who will show me things at botanicas like that. And they're like, does this work? And I'm like, well, okay. So
if you have faith.
Everything's relative. Those things are not going to work the way you think. Like, it's not, you're not going to you're not going to roofie her and then she's going to want to get naked. That's not how it works. But those things really came from a time where witches and people who practiced magic would get things that are found in the earth, like different trees, bark, and they would ground them into powder. That's why it's a powder.
But this thing, we'll talk about it.
The ingredients are not going to be the same anymore, but that whole thing.
That's where the concept.
Comes from.
But I mean, it's really so. Somebody asked me at that same club. They said, my girlfriend's really into crystals. Do you think they work?
Okay.
And they said, do you think they work? And I said, well, I won't say that they do or that they don't. I go, but I will say that in medicine, the placebo effect
is real.
Is very real.
Yeah.
You'll give somebody a pill for X thing, and then you'll give another group just a water pill. But you'll tell them it's for this, and the water pill a lot of times works just as good as the pill that's designed for it, because the power of suggestion is extremely, and that's a proven scientific fact by medical experts. They've documented this. I go, so if it works that way, why wouldn't they tell you this particular stone does this? And if in your head you're like, every time I wear this, it's going to give me this or it's going to give me that. I go, if nothing else, it works with the power of suggestion, if nothing else. Yeah. And it's very basic, in the very basic form that I could explain, does it work or not, is the placebo effect in medicine is the same as the freaking stones. Whether they do or not, your belief will make it happen.
And and crystals come from the earth, and there is energy found in different minerals and materials in the earth. It's scientifically proven that these things vibrate. It's scientifically proven that we have energy, and when you're sad, your vibration is very low. And when you're happy, that race you feel, your vibration is higher. The same with crystals. The same with being scared.
Right.
You can go someplace. I went to the Bonaventure Cemetery in Savannah. It's over 200 years old. People were hyping it up like, you're going to be so scared. Little Gracie's there. She says hello to everyone. I'm like, okay. So we get there. And of course, I'm with my husband. My husband's he's agnostic. So we get there and he's like, are you ready to find some ghost? Because he's always like just fucking with me. And he's like, ready to go ghost hunting? And I'm like, yeah, whatever. So we get there and I'm sitting on a bench and everybody's like, did you hear that? It's in the middle of the day, by the way. And there's like all these people. And I'm like, no, I didn't hear shit. But they're so hyped up that it's going to be haunted that the placebo effect
they'll conjure
they're going to manifest some shit out of that. Like,
absolutely.
Which I think is important, which I think it's so important to have people like you, like Tammy, who really go in there very level-headed. Like, Is it haunted? Let's see. If it's not, hey, this is still an establishment you should visit. Not to mention that I went to that one bar with you, and it's a little bar, and I'm sure because there's been people, because I put up the videos you guys tagged me on, people were like, I'm gonna go, which is good for that bar. Like,
fantastic for that bar.
The fact that you're doing something and giving back to the people who work in those bars. And I worked in a bar, to put myself through school, and trust me, like, they're happy. You have more people in there. And people don't realize that sometimes bars are owned by people who are barely making it. It's true. Like, just because you own a business, you're not a millionaire. Like, you're barely making it. So I think that part too, I like that. I like the helping. I like that whole thing.
Yeah. And oh my gosh, I don't want to pronounce this wrong, but La Golondrina, the oldest Mexican restaurant in Los Angeles.
The one in downtown, like right in Alvera Street, right?
And
like,
La Golondrina is a swallow.
So nicely.
By the way. Swallow, the bird.
Oh, really?
That's what golondrina means.
Oh, cool.
And so that's what in San Juan Capistrano every year, right around March, it's the return of the swallows to the mission there. They like clockwork, they all migrate there, and it's the return of the swallows, but they're the golondrinas, which is the name of the bird.
I didn't know that. But yeah, that restaurant's been closed for
it's in Alvera Street, I think.
Yeah,
or it used to be in Alvera
The
Street.
city closed it because of piping issues, so they have like this battle with them right now. And I didn't know this. I wanted to go and try it, so I went and I made a video, and it went viral. And then, people were starting to go there and being like, "Where is it? Like, where did it go?" So the owner started to sit outside. And after all of this, they made an Instagram. Like, the restaurant made an Instagram and is now like, they're posted up out there talking to people who used to go there, trying to get the restaurant to open again. So, like, I don't want to say it's just only
They should just become street vendors with the same name, dude, and fucking pay no goddamn rent.
Seriously, they should.
No, seriously, they should. Like, there's how many street vendors are right around the corner? They should just like pick two dishes and let's freaking go to town.
Yeah.
But but you had a positive effect, because you don't know if that's going to push them and the city to stop pushing back on them so hard or help them, because usually.
How old is that place?
It's old.
Over 100.
Yeah, it has to be over 100 years old. It has to be over 100 years old.
There's the spirit La Consuela, who apparently haunts Alvera Street, but also that restaurant in particular.
Consuelo.
La Consuela.
Unless
I'm
so Consuelo is the name of a woman. Is Consuela means to. So Consuelo is consoling. Consuela is to console.
Oh.
But the name is Consuelo.
Consuelo.
That's a name. That's a name of
a woman.
Of a woman in Latin languages.
Okay. Wow. So apparently she haunts that whole area. But they see her a lot at the restaurant upstairs.
Have you done the Greyhound station bar yet?
No. Where is that?
There's a bar at the train station in downtown.
Union
it used
Station?
to be in the Union Station. It used to be called the Greyhound, and then they changed it to something else. And there used to be a huge. Did you ever go?
It's
well, the Greyhound used to be down the street on Skid Row.
Inside of the actual train thing, there used to be a bar called the Greyhound.
Oh, okay, I see.
That's really cool.
And there used to be a big fish tank. Remember when the fish tank was there?
Oh, dude, no.
Oh, well, I used to love to go to little bars, and somebody took me to that. And I was like, oh, there's a fucking fish tank in
here? Did you ever go to the Good Luck Bar?
Yes. Get out of here. Of course I did.
Yeah.
And the Shortstop and all those bars.
The Good Luck Bar was like kind of like...
It's still there.
Is it?
Yes.
Wow.
It's still there. You should go to the Good Luck Bar. That's a good bar for you.
I've never heard. Is it closed?
It's still open. And the
Is that haunted?
And the Shortstop. They shot somebody at the Shortstop. I don't know if he died, but that place was a big cop hangout after Dodger games. And now it's like very popular now, the Shortstop. I used to go when it was like $3 beers and not popular at all. But yeah, I'll send you some names. I love bars.
Please, I'm going to the Library Ale House tomorrow in Santa Monica. I don't know if you've ever
the Library Ale House, over on Main.
Yeah, I'm going there tomorrow. They're
Is that
tell
haunted?
Me some stories. Yeah, the bartender.
I didn't know I used to drink there all the goddamn time.
Yeah, apparently it's haunted. I'm gonna find out tomorrow. So
nice.
Yeah,
I like it.
Badass. Well, listen, I think we're gonna sign off. But thank you for joining us. They could find you. Where could people find you? Let them know.
Find me on TikTok at Spooky Foodie. Instagram, Spooky Foodie Official, YouTube Shorts, Spooky Foodie, Facebook Reels, Spooky Foodie.
And no underscores, no nothing, just Spooky
Nothing,
Foodie.
Just Spooky Foodie.
Badass. Yeah, because there's so many people that have like an underscore, then they have a this, and then they have a that, and you're like, what the fuck? You just don't want to be found. What the hell's wrong with you? Like, why are you making it so challenging? This is like a password to your bank account, you fuck. You know?
So true.
Dude, yeah.
Thank you for keeping it simple.
Yeah, thank you for keeping it simple.
Yeah.
Spooky Hoodie, and thank you for creating
Foodie, why do you keep our hoodie?
Foodie. You know what I'm thinking? The hood foodie.
Yeah.
That's why I keep thinking.
The hood shot. The guy who goes with the hood.
Yeah. But Spooky Foodie. Let's go to the Sassafras.
Yes, let's do it.
Definitely go to the Sassafras. If nothing else, let's do that. And yeah, let's figure out a time where we can go.
I'll talk to
him. And, we'll all plug them on our social media and see what happens.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Beautiful. Anything, Asha, you want to say?
There's a bunch of pop-ups coming up, so just follow me on Asha Imports. I'm also going to do a pop-up by my house. I might even do it at my house.
I will come.
To get a lot of old inventory out because I have so much stuff. It's like taken over my storage.
Wow.
So I'm going to get ready for the new year. And then I know...
have a Black Friday sale.
And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to totally have a Black Friday sale
in
December because I have a lot of...
You should do Black Friday once a month.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea. I'll look into it.
You know?
But just follow me there. And then... there's a duplicate. There's like 1 million duplicate Ache accounts right now that are all asking people for money and telling them that the sweet spirit is talking to them.
Shit.
I was a victim as well.
Yes.
Of that.
The good thing is that I just want to say that I have so many cool people who follow me because you guys all message me and like a bunch of people told this person off. So I never solicit you to get a reading. Like I'm not that person. So just beware of the fakes.
Thank you guys. Excuse me. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Brujo 101. Thank you to the Spooky Foodie for chilling with us and for sharing your story.
Yes.
It's absolutely fascinating, and I'm so like in awe that at 23 you figured out like a path. Whether how long this journey goes doesn't matter.
We'll see.
But you're in it right now and you seem happy as fuck, and it seems to be opening up doors. And I'm a big believer that when shit's supposed to go, when you're going where you're supposed to be going, the doors will just open. You don't have to force anything. You don't have to kick anything down. Mm-hmm. The road will just be open for you. If there's obstacles, maybe that's not the road you're supposed to be on. Everybody's all like, oh, you're supposed to fight through. Sometimes if you're doing 2 hours of therapy to save your relationship, fucking walk away.
Happy holidays.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Don't force anything.
Give thanks.
Thank you. Be thankful. Thoughts and prayers. Blessings. Hit us with a share and a rate and review. And they speak in tongues in the walls. So here you go. Satarakata Shanda. Woo! Hallelujah.